What I feel like Mal actually has to be vocal about on socials is whether he stands with DJ Envy, Caesar, or the victims. How come you haven't been vocal about that? Of all the victims of Paterson, New Jersey, you've been very oddly quiet.
Yeah. Oddly quiet on this topic?
On something you have nothing to do with.
I have nothing to do with this shit.
So Envy and Caesar ended up on, I think it's just the local news.
I feel like I've been hearing about this shit every day for the past 2 months.
It's been going on for almost 4 months, but they were on the news. Well, at least Caesar's wife was, and they explained the entire situation. And then Envy actually addressed it, I think was kind of forced to, on the Breakfast Club on Wednesday morning. And I'm not going to say he danced because he is in, litigation and is being sued. So there's only so much you can say.
Right.
But Envy was like, listen, I lost money from Caesar as well. No one can say they ever gave me a single dollar. And I have to give it to Charlamagne. He did give Envy some pushback. All the victims on the news said they were introduced to Caesar through you promoting it on the Breakfast Club, through you doing the seminars. They paid for all this shit. Even on the news report, victims were like, I thought this was legit because I heard it on Power 105.
Right.
Like, no, I didn't think this would be a scam. It's iHeartMedia.
Yeah.
I think this could get a little crazier for Envy than we thought. I don't know if they'll have actual proof of him taking money and scamming people, even though Caesar was his partner. I don't know if they had a LLC together. I don't know the details there. But just from an iHeart perspective, that looks kind of crazy. Because you were basically using iHeartMedia to give a commercial for a scam.
Is iHeart liable?
I don't know if they're liable per se. I'm sure they have some clause because they're one of the biggest media companies on planet Earth that says anything that's said here, we have nothing to do with.
But remember when
there could be a case.
Remember when Kim Kardashian posted that thing on Instagram? And then the company was like some Coinbase, some Bitcoin scam. And they gave her a stupid bag to post this thing. And then it turns out and she was held liable for promoting a fraudulent operation. Is this not
But
similar?
a little different when you're,
Yes.
iHeart is like the Illuminati.
It's a bigger media company, yeah.
Yes, but I think
iHeart was on the Mayflower.
similar strategy.
Like, they're not just a
iHeart was on the Mayflower.
They're a little different. The roots run deep with iHeart.
I understand they have more like pull in the media space and influence, but the strategy is the same. You're going after the face of something that people trust and behind a brand that people trust, and you're using them to push bullshit.
Well, so see, some of the victims that were on the news, some which were the most unfortunate, were giving like, the only $100,000 they had to invest because they thought they were going to flip it. But there was also some people that were millionaires that gave up some bread and are doing fine, but they lost $1 million. Those are the people I would be scared of because I think they're going to try to sue Caesar and Envy first, and whatever the result of that is, may put iHeart on the hook after that.
Yeah.
Because if you win the case against Envy, then I think you have a case with iHeart. They lose against Envy and just Caesar, then I don't think you have a case with iHeart.
But iHeart is not, they have something in the fine print somewhere.
You have to.
And we don't talk about the fine print enough because how can you can go in there and throw
reads that shit.
You could go in there and throw something in the fine print like, oh shit, they coming for us, and just put something in there that we never knew was there. Nobody reads that shit when they say accept all of this. I've never read all of it.
We're supposed to have a copy.
If you look at some of the things Charlamagne has said, I don't know if real estate scam is that high on the list. Like Charlamagne has iHeart on the hook for real if real estate scam is where you draw the line. I think every artist in the 2000s could sue Charlamagne and iHeart as far as defamation.
I do think that Envy will end up losing his job.
I think so too.
At the Breakfast Club. I think that, but I think they'll do it in a way where Envy steps down. I don't think they'll announce that they let him go. I think they'll just tell him like, yo, bro, you're gonna have to step down. I definitely see that. I see that happening for sure. Because at this point, it's too many people, it's too many lawsuits coming in. And you actively were bringing this gentleman up there on the radio station.
Promoting.
You were shooting content with him. Y'all shared the same office space. That was your business partner. Like, now, granted, you may not know he was doing something dirty, but at the same time, that falls on you because y'all business partners and y'all are walking around promoting this business together. There's plenty of footage, plenty of times he was up at the Breakfast Club. So I definitely see Envy having to step down from the Breakfast Club.
As soon as it affects an advertiser, and I'm sure that's what iHeart is waiting for to make it the easy clip, is if one advertiser is like, I don't think we want to do syndication with Breakfast Club because looks like your man is in some heat.
Yeah,
then they have the easy way to say, Envy, you should just leave. But if that doesn't happen, I agree. They are going to find that. Have you ever seen Knocked Up when she's like a pundit on like a E-News thing?
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not telling you to lose weight. We can't legally do that.
I love that movie.
But step on a scale and look at that number and like make it 10 pounds less.
Yeah.
So you want me to lose weight? No.
No.
Just look at that number.
And make it.
So I think they'll do that with Envy, and Envy will be like, hey, lots going on. I want to focus on my family.
Yeah.
I've had a good run.
Yeah.
It's time for me to do other stuff.
Yeah.
They'll do one of those.
I want to focus on my community, my family, being a better person.
Israel Palestine.
That type of, you know how they like to do it.
Priorities.
Exactly.
My Tesla charging station.
Exactly.
Yo, I don't blame this one on Vlad, but sometimes timing is just hilarious. Why did Envy show off all his $10 million car collection the day that broke?
Yes.
You know why?
Vlad does interviews and
it's like the Drake curse.
And Envy went and did a whole look at how fucking rich I am content piece with DJ Vlad the week that he was on the hook for fraud.
Yeah.
And I think the news said it's a $40 million Ponzi scheme. Damn.
You know where the money's at? It's in those cars. It's in those cars.
He's showing you. He's like, this is where I embezzle all the money.
Yeah,
Yo,
exactly.
that dude Caesar was wild. Some of those houses he didn't even own.
Yeah.
Wow. You know how wild? There was 3 different investors on one rundown house in Patterson. Each put in over $200K. Caesar didn't own the house.
It's like Billy McFarland.
How fucking crazy is that?
Bro, but how do you do something like that for so long and like without it going like noticed, like without somebody saying, yo, hold up. Like I think after the first 2, wouldn't somebody be like, yo,
how many years were they doing that?
Wow.
It was a few years.
Definitely.
And how many years were they doing it? And then how many years was it before Envy was promoting it on the radio station?
Can't be too far
I'm not sure about that, but I know that the dude Caesar was doing that shit on his own at one point, and I think he brought Envy in as a business partner and used his celebrity status to kind of make it legit, put him on a radio station.
Seminars together.
Seminars, we rebuilding the community. Let's show people how they can get to this money and real estate and things like that.
Over 7 years. Easy.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like there's always that thing with these kind of schemes where you're obviously doing well financially, you're comfortable, but then enough is never enough. And then you're like, what else can we leverage to make this bigger than what it currently is? And then that's when you start, the more you open it up, the more vulnerable it gets to falling apart. Right. And I think Envy just parading this on a public radio station every morning is when it just, that's a ticking time bomb at that point.
He flew too close to the sun.
They said that Caesar dude was paying people back. He was sending them his jewelry.
Yeah.
What?
Sending his chains.
There was a gentleman that worked on Envy's cars in Lodi, New Jersey. He had like a mechanic shop, and he was working on Envy's cars for over a decade. Envy gave him the pitch. Caesar took the bread, couldn't pay him back, and was like, yo, hold this chain till I pay you back.
That's sick, man. And it's fucked up because a lot of people really jumped into that lane thinking that they were going to be able to flip their money and probably gave their savings, thinking that, yo, I'm getting into the real estate game. And now they're fucked out of money and possibly can't pay their current bills. So it's that scamming shit, man. I've never been a fan of scams and schemes because you never know what people really have going on in their life, and people really use you or use something that you're teaching them as a last ditch effort to kind of change their lives financially and get into a better space. And then you do something like that where you steal from them and take their money. And people are like now having to move in with their parents. People have to move in fucking, from a house to a fucking apartment. Yeah. Like it's fucked up, man.
You know what I do think actually did happen? And I'm speculating. I think Caesar probably did go into that business legitimate and probably did a few good deals, met Envy, got a lot of promo and a lot of money and was in over his head and his expertise. I think he just got way over his head and started paying off investors with other investors' money.
Of course.
Like I don't think he went in there intentionally trying to scam people, but he sold too much bullshit. Like people believed him because he was on Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
no, at that point you just gotta be like, no, I can't take this on.
But you get to a point where you have to say, all right.
He started believing his own bullshit.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
When you start believing the bullshit, like, oh shit, this is working. Like I'm getting away with the shit. But now you look up and it's like everybody's at your door, like, yo, what's up with that money you said was coming in 4 months, 5 months? It's been a year. I don't have anything.
I think he probably fucked up on one deal, couldn't pay the dude back, got some money from another, robbed Peter to pay Paul, and it worked. And then 7 years later, he's at 40 million thinking like, oh, it's going to continue to work.
I know one thing. Tony the Closer been motherfucking reporting on this shit every hour on the hour. He not letting up. Tony's not letting up.
I mean, I don't blame him though. Like you scam hardworking people.
Bro,
like,
I'm 100% with it. Like when you scam people and people are exposing you for being a scammer, I'm 100% with that. Except if you have hookup on Polo. Like then I support the scammers when they're
low life.
scamming Polo. Yeah. I'm supporting that.
But that's a weird position for Envy to be in. And Charlemagne started that segment with saying, yo, shut up. Your lawyers told you to shut up, so shut up. And Envy's like, no, I feel like I have to say something. But you can't.
Do you think iHeart made him say something?
No.
No, I think he was just trying
I think his own ego and his own IG comments made him say something, or his wife made him say something, or somebody in his circle made him say something, not realizing that, and I'm not a lawyer, but if he apologizes, I know, I hate to break it to you. look at all my past deals.
Can't read it.
Clearly, I'm a lawyer. Clearly, I have it all figured out with contracts.
Yeah.
But you can't apologize for it on the air because then it makes you fucking liable.
Yeah.
That's why you have to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So Envy couldn't apologize to all these people for introducing them to Caesar. He just kept saying, I didn't take any money. I didn't take any money. And he just looked more guilty.
Yeah.
Instead of taking accountability and being like, yo, I'm sorry I introduced you to a scammer. But you can't say that on the air because that gets brought up in court.
Mm-hmm.
And now, okay, so you're part of this? You're admitting that you introduced all these people to Caesar? Oh, bet. All right. We're suing you as well.
I see Envy stepping down soon.
Yeah, he has to. He has to.
I see it.
He has to.
And if there's a way where he can step down and not be held liable, I don't think two things would correlate. I think you can step down and get like the fair treatment from iHeart that you think you deserve, but then also still be fucked in the other regard.
So does that mean the Breakfast Club is on the brink of being over?
They'll get another guest host again.
Who would you like to see in that seat? And why is it you?
Does it have to be another DJ?
I would love to see that.
Maul, Charlemagne, and Jess Hilarious, out of here. I'm not joking either.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
First of all, don't say out of here.
No,
Don't
the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
No. Me and Charlemagne on
and Jess
on mic
Hilarious
together though, and Jess. That would be interesting.
Eddin would be like your ghost DJ.
But I think
yikes.
You Juanito?
I've heard his mixes.
Would you sit in
Whoa,
the king
don't do
seats
that
that
to
they
me.
sit in?
No, that is so nasty. that king seat, that throne.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
That is,
And this is why I don't want to clown them, because I don't think that was Charlemagne or Envy's idea.
Oh, it's a rebrand.
I think that was iHeart dumbass
but that's-
corporate. and
Okay, no.
It was like 10 years. It was
you know, a bunch of white people in a conference room was like,
It
we
was
should
10
put.
years.
They're the kings of radio.
I think that
As
was
a producer, how many times have I come to you guys with an idea and you're both like, shut the fuck up? That's terrible.
A lot.
You ultimately have
We don't
the
work
authority
for
to
iHeart,
say-
we work
But I'm
for
saying
us.
You have the authority to say no.
That's the difference.
Nah, but like they're iHeart.
They probably showed up to it, and I'm not shitting on Envy and Charlemagne. I'm not doing the Dame thing that you work somewhere. I think it's fine that you guys have a great job. You're radio legends.
Yeah.
I think they walked in on that rebrand when Angela went to the other room, walked in that morning, and there was fucking
You heard the slight though?
You
You heard the slight?
thrones right
You
there.
heard the slight?
You said Angela took a left, they took a right.
Is that not what happened?
It is, but you didn't have to put that in there.
Why didn't they give Angela the throne?
The throne?
Do we think that Angela Yee knew this was going to happen with
No.
with Envy? And that's
Well,
why she
maybe,
got
but I don't think it was part of the decision.
Yeah, but to Rory's point, I think her situation was independent of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was time.
Y'all don't think it's weird that Angela and Charlemagne never got involved in DJ Envy's real estate business?
I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That should tell
That's
you
a good
something
point.
more.
Nah, but that might just be, you know how one of your friends come at you with something like, yo, I got this. And you just like, nah.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they knew, but it's just like, I'm cool. I'm not trying to really get
Because
into
they
that game.
probably didn't think it. Well, if you came to me with the success rate that it was perceived between Envy and Caesar, I would 100% take my money and give it to you.
Okay. I'm glad you said that.
No. But I'm telling you, I think they just heard the pitch and was like, nah.
I think they saw Caesar and was like,
Nah.
something about him. I don't know, man. I don't like him. His eyes. I don't like his eyes.
And listen,
Something about his eyes. I don't like it.
it's crazy to get $40 million off like 4 houses in Patterson.
Yeah.
What's my man's name from Wall Street that did the Ponzi scheme?
Jordan Belfort.
Yeah. Oh.
No, the guy, the main guy.
Ponzi
He invented the Ponzi scheme. Robert De Niro played him on the HBO thing.
Bernie
His son
Madoff?
killed himself. Yeah, Madoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Caesar
Bernie
Madoff.
Caesar Madoff.
Bernie did that in Wall Street. Like what
Caesar
you get it.
Madoff?
Caesar might be alleged for doing that in Patterson.
His lie was he convinced investors they would get 40 to 50% return within 90 days. That was his classic.
See what I'm saying? Somebody tell you that and you don't. You know what I mean?
you're gonna bite.
You're like, I'm gonna throw all my money into that.
Listen, I did it with Loyan. I got my money back.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
but
doing
we can
good
trust
business.
him.
Loyan
Loyan from the Bronx.
But that's why I'm saying, like, Loyan pitches to me and it seemed legit, and it was. I got my money back.
Mhm.
I'm saying when Envy walked in that room to Angela and Charlemagne, I want to know what in his pitch that Angela and
Like,
Charlemagne, who don't like each other, looked at each other and were like, nah,
This one,
I'm cool.
Yeah.
no fucking way.
NewRoryNMal.